Hi Sages, and welcome to your April 2021 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to talk to you about the energies coming in for your sign in the month of April. Welcome Sages, it's feeling really beautiful, a lot easier than you think, and very freeing, okay? So your energy is coming up very simple and concisely as much more broad and wanting of something a lot more, okay? So your wants are increasing in April. The Aries season side of it seems to really be igniting your inner athlete, igniting your desires to multiply, okay? So we're having a very desireful Sagittarius come in April with a lot of creative dexterity and a lot of more ability than some of you might be letting yourselves in on. So I think that one of the best things in April for Sagittarius is to basically just plan it out, plan out what you want, look at a lot of different possibilities. You, kind of like Scorpio, have a lot of ability to change your life right now, a lot of ability to take on something new, and with that comes like a degree of pressure. So that's why that Nine of Swords is coming up for you, but it's really the only card in your reading that is very heavy to me. So you might be indecisive, you might be sad that it feels like you have to stop one thing in order to do another, or that you have to pull back in one place in order to have more somewhere else. It's kind of a philosophical angst that I'm feeling for you, where it's like, why have things gone this way? Why was I successful here? Why was I able to do this there and not able to now have this? Like you're kind of getting caught in the why factor instead of pioneering the true essence of you. Okay, so if I were a Sagittarius, I would stop asking why this month, and I would start to do. I would start to get into action. I would start to get a little bit less into the mind and more into the body. And I would try to fix up your material reality a little bit more, especially getting into Taurus season, because that's what's really giving you the creative functionality. That's when the real psychic downloads are coming to you. That's when the real understanding of your life becomes clear. It feels like when you're more in your body and less in your mind, okay? It's like trying to sleep. It doesn't work that well. Trying to figure something out, especially during this time of the year, is not really working. It's like as you do something physical, you get a better understanding of how you need to move forward. Another intuitive message coming up for you in April is actually moving, okay? It could be like moving house, but like moving the body, especially mobility comes up in April. The Chariot, Judgment, Knight of Swords, Knight of Cups, the Magician. You're trying to summon a change, so you need to move your body. You need to maybe change up your schedule, change up your biorhythms, change up something. Something is demanding for a change. And I know that we talk about this, and it is something that is seeming to happen over and over again in these recent times, where it's like a change has to happen, or something is not satisfactory, something has to alchemize, something has to transform. Aquarius energy is a lot about that. Okay, so having Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius means that most of our philosophical and motivational reasoning comes as a need to change something, or as a need to transcend or transmute or alchemize something. And that's a very positive thing for you. Again, your energy is sextile to Aquarius, which is a very harmonious, naturally occurring energy. So the changes in your life will occur harmoniously and naturally through movement, through blood flow, okay, through oxygenation of the muscles even. So it's really good for you guys to exercise this month. It's really good to get that deep tissue massage. It's really good to even do like horseback riding for some of you. Or something that, or even like a race car driving, or getting a sports car or something like in Aries season. That's really fun for Sagittarius. Even just test driving, or like enjoying engines or something. I'm feeling for Sagittarius. Like it's simple things like that. The sound of an engine, the sound of your feet as you run on the pavement. The sound of music in your headphones as you run during the evening or something. Like these things are what really are catalyzing you to make shifts and get you further and further away from that Nine of Swords energy. Because if you guys can just get out of that Nine of Swords, I mean, you're golden this month. Okay, it's easy. It's an easy month for you if you're not too in your head. All right. Let's talk about the week-to-week Sages. Nine of Swords rooted down by the Magician in week 1. So yeah, first week of April is going to do it for you. It's like, God, what have I been doing with my life? Why have I focused this thing for this long? What have my priorities been? What the heck are my priorities? Is it just like money, or is it relationships, or is it a higher goal? And why does it feel like these things can't coexist? And believe it or not, these trains of thought, while you need to get more body oriented instead of mind oriented this month, while that is the case, they are inspiring a magician to come forth. And someone says, you know what? I can have it all. I can have the relationship. I can have the goal. I can have the financial security. I can have the desire as well. I can have peace of mind too. So that's really cool to see Sagittarius finally maybe getting out of that previous year of Jupiter and Capricorn mentality where it's like, God, I just can't have it. I just can't have it all. I've either got to have financial security and no time, or I've got to have a relationship and, no friends, or I've got to, it seems like I can have one thing, but I've got to sacrifice another in order to have it. That's over. That's over for you guys. And I want you guys to really contemplate what it means to be able to have it all. And to maybe get a little bit more flexible with what all means to you. We got to be careful with that too, because then we get too controlling. And we're like, okay, well, if my relationship isn't this way, then I don't have it all. Or if my, paycheck is not this much, then I don't feel as if I have it all. That also becomes a really Nine of Swords territory. So it's about moderation. It's about acceptance of what is here and now, and the enjoyment and loving of what is here and now in order to be able to manifest new things. Okay. Week number 2, because when you are upset with the current reality, or when you feel lack or scarcity, it's a really good way by thinking a lot about that to keep it that way, to learn the lesson of it, or you can just through having less money or something, you can start to enjoy another type of output, or you can take on a hobby and really get your solar plexus chakra working, and it transcends you out of that, poverty experience. Whereas the focus on poverty makes the lessons come up around poverty, so poverty becomes an inherent condition to lesson learning. All right. So that's very Nine of Swords too. And we're wanting to get more into the body, Sag. So week number 2, you've got the Chariot rooted down by Knight of Swords. Quick movement. I love that for you guys. A lot of you are like horseback riding or driving or moving, okay? Moving towards something, moving towards a goal, making progress in the second week of April. I love that for Aries season. You're doing something right in the second week, and you're getting out of that Nine of Swords energy, I think. What are you moving towards? Do you believe in it? Is it an example of who you want to be in the future? If it is, full steam ahead. If you're not quite sold on what you're moving toward, still looking towards that Nine of Swords energy, trying to contemplate, trying to figure it out, trying to, do rocket science to learn how to tie your shoes type of thing. If that's how you're feeling, I would just recommend getting out of it. Okay. Go to that restaurant, go pivot off to the sideline for a minute and just try to take in your environment and see if it doesn't kind of shift things up a little bit. Week 3, you've got Judgment rooted down by Page of Cups reversed. Okay, so that's when the transformation really happens for you guys. So in week 3, it's our last full week of all planets direct. I can't believe it's already been this long. But that's really a time where you guys want to make a change if you need a change. Also in the second week, but in the whole middle half of April, if a change is needed, that's the time. Okay? It just is. Otherwise, the fourth week even gives you a little bit. Until April 28th, we have wiggle room for changes or planned changes or plotted course shifts. Do you understand that by keeping things the same or by not having a set course shift, within those 3 weeks, especially the third week of April, that it is kind of a willingness to accept the current, or it is a willingness to be satisfied with the current and to not have to be in Nine of Swords in the current present moment. But regardless of which side of that you're on, you are really having an awakening, okay? Your energy is going to multiply. You're going to be shown your level of output in a way that you haven't seen it in a long time. And, you know, there's emotional energy behind it. Page of Cups reverse is about not having been able to really show how you emotionally feel about something, not really being able to be upfront and honest with people. Might change in the third week, you know, with like family or friends or relationships. You might just have to really get honest. Judgment is about honesty as well. Judgment is about waking the part of yourself that has been unable to speak its truth. So that's coming up for you guys too. Because, you know, Sagittarius can sometimes want to be a people pleaser. Sagittarius can have a very hard time at being honest sometimes. Not that Sagittarius really try to lie, but they will sometimes, you know, say nice things, even when the situation is not a nice situation. And that's a lot to maintain. That's a lot to keep up. And I think that you guys don't really have the patience for it past that time. And that could also be what's creating these Nine of Swords situations. You know, always having to appease people, always having to be that positive, optimistic voice. Food for thought for you all. Week 4, you have the Ace of Wands rooted down by Knight of Cups. So I love that. That's really nice. Nice fire and water energy coming in. Ace of Wands is about a new desire, a new goal, a new project, new creativity. Coming right after Judgment and the Chariot, it's a really positive card. Very, very nice. So a lot of you are doing exactly what you need to do. A lot of you are totally well apportioned in your life and ready to take on a new goal. Keep it a little bit under wraps though. So things like IP, things like new business plans, things like new goals for the future. Knight of Cups comes in to say that, you know, it might need a little bit more definition before you're just like going super public with it. It feels like you need to be ready to like launch like right when you go public. So try to not rely, again, this is feeding back into the Nine of Swords energy again. It's like needing the approval of other people to do things in your life. Like, hey, I have this great business idea, or I have this great patent idea, or I have this great idea, and people will kind of be like, that's really stupid, when it's like brilliant, you know? And that's the thing, like what is stupid, what is brilliant, basically just depends on how far people are willing to take things, okay? That's kind of really funny, isn't it? Like, there are some things that we all use every day in our life that are kind of stupid, but also kind of brilliant. You know, like I'm looking around my office right now, and I see a few of those things. I see a lot of those things. But I guarantee you that pretty much everybody in every single office in the world has them, and whoever's created these things, many of their generations are now funded, you know? So it's like funny to think about things like that, and that's why the whole approval thing is not really what counts when it comes to making progress in that way in your life. You know, like there's a stapler on my desk, and I just kind of wonder about the person who invented the stapler. Like, if people really thought that was something necessary at the time, you know, or if that person had to rely on the approval of others in order to start to develop that idea. It might have seemed a little bit frivolous or odd at the time, but now it's like in every office. And while I could live without a stapler and it isn't a necessity in my life, especially with the digital oncoming age, I do still have one, and I did still purchase one. It's kind of that type of thing coming up for you guys, where it's like, if you want it, go for it, and try to not rely on the approval of other people, because you might just create something like a stapler. Or what you're moving into might just be a super huge necessity. But at the same time, it's like not something that people can maybe understand until it's created, okay? So with that, in the fourth week, to get back before I went off on that tangent, fourth week, you have a great new idea, you have a great new want in your life. Try to get it really streamlined and done before you rely on other people to decide whether you go forward or not. Okay. Anyway, Sagittarius, I'm going to wrap up on that note. We went over time a little bit. If you guys want to get the extended reading, it's going to be on Patreon. I will link that in the description box and in the center of the video now. I do weekly forecasts and early ad-free and extended readings over there. Definitely come and check it out to support the channel or get more bonus content. It's a great value. I'll talk to you all soon. Let's jump over for the extended now. Much love, Sagittarius. Bye.